William and Kate reflect on their biggest moments of 2023 as Harry and Meghan look forward to a redemption year. Plus, we take a look at how the royals celebrated the Christmas holiday. And a queen abdicates the throne. Dominic West reveals why he doesn't talk to Harry. And what the king stays up until 4 a.m. doing may surprise you. We've got that plus so much more in today's Royally Us. Everyone, I'm Christina, and that's Christine, and welcome to our first Royally Us of 2024. Christine, Happy New Year. How are you?
Happy New Year. I'm doing so well. It's a new year. It really feels like a blank slate, especially for the royal family, and I'm hoping this is a fabulous year for royal stories.
Definitely. It's going to be a big year for royal stories, and we're going to be recapping it every step of the way. But before we look forward, let's look back, because that's exactly what the Prince and Princess of Wales did. They shared a short video montage with several photos and videos highlighting the biggest moments of the year for the royal family. In the post caption, they also shared a message thanking everyone who has been a part of our year. They had a banner year. So many big highlights for the family. They moved. They had a lot of royal engagements, royal trips, and things like that. So there was definitely a lot to look back on.
I mean, it was a huge year. And if you can believe it, it really hasn't been that long since the coronation, since all of these huge changes really took place. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping this next year is when they really get into their stride. They're sort of a little bit more settled into their new role. And we've heard rumors of lots of exciting things coming up, including a special visit to Italy, which will be their first visit to Italy sort of officially since ever. They might meet the Pope, which is a really, really special occasion for royals, as the royal women tend to go in sort of conservative traditional dress, and it's a really interesting historical moment. And I would just love to see them enjoying some Italian sunshine.
Oh, Italian sunshine, Italian food, Italian wine. I mean, what could be nicer?
Maybe we're
and we'll be put on assignment to cover that one, because that would be a fun trip. Well, definitely looking forward to all the big things that they have planned. Of course, they all celebrated the Christmas holiday together. King Charles, Queen Camilla, Prince William, and Princess Kate, and other members of the royal family participated in the annual Walk to Christmas Day church service in Sandringham. As is tradition, Charles and Camilla led the royals on December 25th as they made the trek to St. Mary Magdalene Church, which is located near Sandringham House, where the family celebrated the holiday. They, of course, were joined by their children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. I always look forward to this. So many people look forward to this walkabout and to get, that face-to-face interaction with the royal family. And that's exactly what they did. So definitely a great way to kick off the holiday.
Yeah, it's such a bright spot on Christmas Day for the people who've gone down to Sandringham to see them, but even just for us sort of checking on social media throughout the day. Mm-hmm. So nice to see them and nice to see the children. There were so many great interactions between the Prince and Princess of Wales and their children, and Zara and Mike Tyndall and their children. You saw them sort of cuddling and, passing toys and walking hand in hand. It was really, really sweet. It's just so nice to see the family all together. They really are a team. They really are a family. And it's just amazing to see them on Christmas Day, everyone together. It feels very on all hands on deck. Everyone's accepting flowers and greeting people and saying hello. And it's just a really, really special Christmas tradition.
It really was. And speaking of Christmas tradition, King Charles reflected on the struggles others are facing during his annual Christmas speech. He said, "Over this past year, my heart has been warmed by countless examples of the imaginative ways in which people are caring for one another, going the extra mile to help those around them simply because they know it is the right thing to do, at work and at home, within and across communities." He added, "My wife and I were delighted when hundreds of representatives of that selfless army of people, volunteers who serve their communities in so many ways, and with such distinction, were able to join us in Westminster Abbey for the coronation earlier this year. They are an essential backbone of our society." He also addressed the increasingly tragic conflict taking place around the world. And, this is another thing that people look forward to every single year, the annual Christmas speech. And I don't think he disappointed.
No, not at all. This was really, really moving. It was the second year that he used this. I mean, it's only his second Christmas message, but it was the second time that he used this message to really thank the people who are giving back and acknowledging the goodness of people, sort of that selfless army of people that he mentioned that are giving back to their communities. And I think that's really important. Kind of highlights all the little things that people are doing to support each other throughout the UK, throughout the Commonwealth. It is slightly different from the way that Queen Elizabeth II handled her Christmas messages. And there was a little bit less religiousness to it, whereas Queen Elizabeth II was very, very religious. So it's interesting to see these sort of historical changes that are going on in the way that King Charles is using this huge platform in his Christmas message to share his thoughts.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's interesting to see how traditions continue, but also change in ways as well. So moving on to, the next chapter of the royal dynasties. All right. So, well, let's move on over and let's spill the royal tea. And this is interesting. Sophie Winkleman, the wife of Lord Frederick Windsor, the son of Queen Elizabeth's cousin, Prince Michael of Kent, opened up about her relationships with members of the royal family as she graced the cover of Tatler's February 2024 issue. The actress, known for her roles in 2.5 Men and most recently Wonka, shared that she's really good friends with all of them. And she shared a bit about her special relationship with King Charles and revealed his work ethic knows no bounds. She said that he is a very dear friend. She said, I spend a bit of time with him. You see how he works all day long, has a quick supper, and then disappears until about 4 a.m. to write letters. He cares about so many things and he comes up with brilliant solutions. So when does he sleep?
The king never sleeps. No, the king and the empire never sleep. This was a great interview. If you can get a copy of Tatler, she shares so many unique insights. She's really, really supportive of the royal family. And they're not really working members of the royal family necessarily. They are just sort of family members. We see them at most major events, the family Christmas lunches and things like that. But she's always been hugely supportive. And I think her acting career, she's been acting for a really, really long time while also raising young children. So, there's been breaks here and there. And it is really, I've been fascinated to watch her balance of being sort of this member of the royal family, although not working for the royal family, while having sort of acting career. She's a really, really interesting person.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's a great interview. So please pick it up if you get a chance. But what a fascinating life that she has. It really is. Well, speaking of actors, Dominic West, who plays, of course, King Charles on The Crown, was once tight with Prince Harry, but not anymore. He said on Sunday morning, we sort of lost touch because I said too much in a press conference. And so we didn't speak after that. After radio presenter Kate McCann pressed Dominic on his initial remarks, he suddenly explained what happened, saying, I think I was asked what we did and what we did to celebrate when we got there, and I probably said too much. He and Prince Harry took part in a charity event, Walking with the Wounded, in 2013, where they went on an expedition through Antarctica with injured military veterans. Nearly 1 year after their journey, he was asked about the experience during a 2014 press conference. He said at the time, Harry was very much part of the team. He seemed to specialize in building latrines. He built this incredible castellated structure with blocks to keep out the wind, and it even had a toilet roll holder. He stressed that Walking with the Wounded and their subsequent falling out was over 10 years ago. And as a result, I guess he didn't ask Harry about any advice on how to play Prince Charles in The Crown. I don't feel like he said too much.
He basically said that Harry was really good at building toilets, but at the same time, I'm sure the British press caught hold of that and turned it into a massive, sort of joking headlines. It doesn't seem like too much, and perhaps this was, not as dramatic as we're making out. Maybe it was they worked together, and then when they weren't together anymore, that relationship sort of fizzled out. What an interesting story. I'm sure now that he's played Prince Charles in The Crown, they're not going to be friends anymore. I mean, I think that is definitely over.
Yeah, that one is definitely done. I can't imagine, going back. If you're not making amends over the past 10 years, you're not going to do it now. Sorry about that. All right. Well, speaking of Harry and Meghan, things may be looking up for them in the new year. So sources tell Us Weekly that lucrative offers have been flooding in for Harry and Meghan. And despite being tested in their marriage. It is stronger than ever. A source tells us that Harry and Meghan are in extremely high demand. They're also thinking of moving from Montecito to LA to get closer to the action in Hollywood. They say that Harry and Meghan think 2024 will be the year of redemption. According to another source, Meghan's team has been turning down offers left and right. There have been rumors that she's going to bring back the TIG. So I don't know. We'll see. You know, she's been approached from everything from film roles to multi-million-dollar endorsement deals with fashion and beauty brands. It was a very rocky 2023 for the two of them. So we'll see if what happens in 2024. But we hear that their focus is definitely philanthropy and giving back. So we'll see.
You know, we did say sort of earlier last year that what they needed to do was lay low, not really do anything, and then come back with sort of philanthropy being at the forefront. And so far, that's what we've seen. They did lay low. We didn't really see much from them, very, very little. And so hopefully they rock into 2024 ready to go with lots of big philanthropic projects where we see their work first and foremost and their family drama way, way at the back.
Way in the back. Maybe it's a year of redemption and reconciliation. We'll see. I mean, one can hope.
Great.
Yes. Can hope. Well, all right, let's move on to our royal history moment of the week. And while we don't usually talk about royals outside of the British royal family, we had to talk about this one because this is very interesting. So just before the new year, Queen Margrethe of Denmark made a surprising announcement. She will abdicate in 2 weeks. In her New Year's Eve speech, the Danish queen said, "In February this year, I underwent extensive back surgery. It went well thanks to the skilled healthcare staff who took care of me. Of course, the operation also gave rise to thinking about the future, whether the time had come to leave the responsibility to the next generation." Well, she continued, "I've decided that now is the right time. On the 14th of January, 52 years after I succeeded my beloved father, I will step down as Queen of Denmark. I leave the throne to my son, Crown Prince Frederik." This is definitely some big news.
This is really historic. She had previously said that she would never abdicate, that she'd stay on the throne until she died. And now she's obviously changed her mind. I think a lot of things went into that. That back surgery left her really, really in poor health, just because that's a very difficult recovery. And I think she'd slowed her down quite a lot. I also think she's very, very close with Queen Elizabeth II. And seeing the late Queen's death and the funeral and the coronation, all of that may have made her rethink her own decisions, because obviously a new king following an abdication is a lot more joyful than a new king following a death. And
That's true.
I am so excited for this. Crown Princess Mary, who's married to Crown Prince Frederik, is extremely fashionable and stylish and wonderful and very cool. She's Australian born, so I'm really excited to see what it looks like when they become king and queen. I hope they get a great big spotlight because they're doing some really amazing work through their charity initiatives, through different projects that they work on. So it's a huge history moment, but I also think it's a great opportunity for royal watchers to peek into some other royal families.
I love it. Yeah, maybe, and let us know in the comments if you want us to explore other royal family members, because it's fun to see what other people do and other traditions that people have as well. But you make a good point about how this will make the transition a little bit easier and a more joyful experience. So who knows, maybe this will happen in the future as well. But let's wrap up our pint-sized palace. And as we talked about the crown, it's all wrapped up. But I love this story because, as we know, the back half of this season focuses on the young royals, Prince Harry, played by Luther Ford, and William, played by Ed McVie. But it was Ford's own brother's girlfriend who actually inspired him to audition in the first place. So he shared a carousel of behind-the-scenes images making the crown on his Instagram, including a WhatsApp exchange that started it all. His brother's girlfriend sent him a link to a casting call for Prince Harry with the note, "Luther, this could be your moment." He replied, "Haha, my time has come. I don't know if the resemblance is strong enough." But then she added, "Doesn't hurt to try." Those words are also Ford's caption for the post, illustrating how her wise words led him to starring on a major Netflix series. But so true. No truer words have been spoken. It doesn't hurt to try.
Hey, you never, no guts, no glory, as what my mom always says. So I love this story. You know, they really were sort of unheard of for the most part. And now people. These actors and actresses are, in huge Netflix series, but getting loads of attention. I hope it brings them lots and lots of success.
Definitely. I thought he did a great job at portraying Prince Harry as well. I thought he was fabulous. All right. Well, that is it for this week's episode of Royally Us. Happy New Year to everybody watching. We can't wait to recap all the royal news all year long. It's going to be a great one. Thanks, Christine.
Thank you.
For more news content and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below and visit usmagazine.com.